Guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steph Curry's ex-teammate left fuming over Team USA roster selection at Olympics. Despite gold medal winning outing, former NBA and Golden State Warriors champion Nick Young on X criticized the team's selection committee for prioritizing defensive-minded players over scorers. He expressed his disappointment after Team USA went through narrow wins in the 2024 Paris Olympics. Nick Young in his post argued that the team's focus on defense led to struggles on offense and cited the example of 3 young NBA players. He believed that certified scorers were overlooked in favor of defensive specialists. The NBA would send a player like Josh Hart, whose role on a team is to play defense, before a player like Tyler Hero or a Monk, whose role on the team is to get buckets, to the Olympics but play against them. Same type of bucket getters like Bogdanovic or Schroeder we wouldn't invite, and they given us work and we barely beaten them. Nick Young wrote on X, the victorious Team USA roster featured elite defenders like the Boston Celtics duo of Drew Holiday and Derek White, as well as Los Angeles Lakers Anthony Davis and Miami Heat's Bam Adebayo, who excel on both ends of the court. However, their defensive prowess was tested in the tough semi-final and final games against Serbia and host nation France respectively. In the semi-final against reigning MVP Nikola Jokic, Serbia Team USA trailed by double digits before coming back to win 95-91, and in the final against France they relied on a sensational fourth-quarter shooting from Steph Curry to win 98-87. Young's criticism highlighted the challenges faced by Team USA on their way to reclaiming their crown. The US men's basketball team made its debut in the Paris 2024 Olympics against Serbia, which was led by the NBA's reigning MVP Nikola Jokic, leading Nick Young to compare the current Team USA opponents to those faced by the original Dream Team. The best player the Dream Team played against was a young Tony Cock. These dudes playing against a 3-time MVP. The Joker. Nick Young wrote on X, the Paris Olympic team has been criticized for their shaky performances starting from the escape win against South Sudan. The 1992 Dream Team faced limited NBA talent, but this year's Olympics has seen a major jump as it features 51 international players on NBA rosters, including top talent like MVP contender Shai Alexander. The increased competition was evident as Team USA struggled to get a blowout win, including the rematch with South Sudan. The world has indeed caught up, which is a good thing, and Team USA must adapt to this new level of competition to succeed in the 2028 Olympics, which would be hosted on home soil. Golden year for the Golden State. California's 2027 class projects as one of its best. There's never a shortage of talent in California, but the 2027 class has a chance to be one of the Golden State's best in recent memory when it comes to producing college football players and NFL draft picks. California is annually among the best 247. Sports rankings are always littered with players from California, but it's felt like the level of top-end talent has slipped in recent years. Over the past 5 years the state hasn't produced as many high-impact prospects, leading to a dip of California-born draft. California used to compete with Florida and Texas for most players drafted, but Georgia has now seen more homegrown players drafted in the past 4 years. The class of 2027 is loaded. There's a ton of talent at the top of the board. Positional depth and players likely make the cut when the class is updated from a top 100 to the top 247 later this year. In total, 12 players from California made the top 100, including 8 among the Top 50 we often talk up the importance of multi-sport athleticism, and we're definitely seeing that with this class. Several California athletes in the 2027 Top 100 ran track last spring and play basketball. It's always important to remember that when it comes to rankings, there are a long-term projection out to the NFL draft. As we see with the draft every year, the skill players and line who competed in multiple sports in high school are the same ones who hear their names called on draft day. Because of this, we're always looking out for not just good high school players but guys with length, speed and athleticism. Chatsworth, California Sierra Canyon edge rusher Richard Wesley is the state's top player and nation's number 2 overall prospect. He projects as the best edge out of California since 2019. Given Thibodeau, who starred at Oregon before becoming the Giants' number 5 overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft. At the same stage, Wesley is bigger, just as athletic and plays with a more consistent motor than Thibodeau. Wesley was recently measured in at 6'5", 255 pounds at Oregon's Saturday Night Live camp. He's dominated multiple off-season events. He had a strong freshman year, totaling 55 tackles and 10 sacks while playing against one of the nation's toughest schedules. Wesley has a basketball background, ran track this off-season, and has all the traits that you want to see in an elite college pass rusher. Wesley already holds scholarship offers from schools like Georgia, Miami, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, USC and Washington. He will have his choice of any school in the country when he's ready to decide. Warriors trade pitch swaps Wiggins for $95 million do perfect fit. The Warriors have struck out on 2 of the all-star players they pursue this offseason, unable to get a deal done to bring Paul George to town, then missing 2 on Lauri Markkanen, who signed an extension with the Jazz that will keep him in Utah at least for this year. It could well be that the Warriors simply enter into the 2024-25 season with the roster as it stands, hoping that improvement from young players Brandon Mee and Jonathan Kuminga will be enough to give star Stephen Curry the kind of supporting cast to take the Warriors back to the playoffs, or they could remain on the hunt with a player the team has had interest in before because of his ability to stretch the floor. Nets forward road Cam Jhonson, who could hit the trade block soon as Brooklyn looks to dive deeper into a rebuild. Of course, as with any trade, there are complications. The first is whether the Nets will consider trading Jhonson at all. He is 28 and a bit beyond Brooklyn's timeline for a rebuild, but he does have some useful qualities. You don't get the sense they're knocking down doors to move him, one NBA executive told Heavy Sports. I think they'll get to that point either in the next few weeks or before the trade deadline. He does a lot of good things for you. He can shoot pretty good, defender, good guy to have in the locker room. The contract is not bad either, so there will be a market for him if they get that ball rolling. The Warriors would be one of the teams expected to have interest. The Lakers, Kings and Spurs too, and probably more. From Golden State's perspective, Johnson's injury history would be a concern. He has played 283 out of 391 possible games in his career and was limited to 100 games in his last 2 seasons. Still, the number that should entice the Warriors is 39.2, which is Johnson's career shooting percentage on 3-pointers. The Warriors love shooters, and with Klay Thompson now in Dallas, they could use more accurate floor stretchers. The other problem though would be where to play Jhonson. He is a natural power forward who has spent limited time at small forward and some time at center, though at 6'8" he could only handle the middle in short spurts. The Warriors enter 2024-25 already with a logjam at the 4, with Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga both slated for time in that role. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Cam Jhonson? Leave your opinion in the comments.